What's up everyone, and welcome to another Bitcoin market update. In these videos you will learn how to use technical analysis to forecast price movements in your favorite cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, and also see where we are looking to buy and sell these cryptocurrencies ourselves. So let's get into the analysis for today here, looking at Bitcoin on the monthly time frame here. The monthly time frame is telling us a couple things, but the first thing that it is telling us is we're looking kind of bearish. And the way that we can tell is if we pull up our pivots indicator here, you can see we ran into this R3 yearly pivot up here at about 63,200. We rejected off of that with increasing bear volume, above average bear volume, and also a really significantly overbought RSI. Now the RSI being overbought doesn't necessarily mean that the run is coming to an end. Neither does the R3 pivot resistance or this bearish spinning top candlestick. But what all of these factors are telling us is we need to increase our level of confidence that this might be a short-term top. And the reason for that is because of all these factors combined. Now, when you combine all three of these factors, this is what we call confluence. So confluence is just consistency across a couple different things that you're looking at. So confluence means the two things are telling you the same exact thing, and that's either the price action is bullish or the price action is bearish, meaning that it's either going to continue to go up or it's going to go down. And so when we're looking at this, the bearish spinning top is bearish because it's signaling indecision in the market. And after a run up like this where we have all these long bodied white candles, when we see a candle like this is one of those examples of one thing is not like the other. And which one is it? It's clearly this candle. And so when you're seeing it after this run up here, the last time when we had a black candle was down here in September. And that was when we had our last higher low. And so this is a significant change in what we've been seeing over the past several months. So now we will look to see if over the next couple months we go down and we break below the low here of this previous April candle at 47K. And then, like I wrote right here, that's when we know if we do that this month, that our monthly high has been set, and we'll look to come down and form a higher low somewhere above the previous low from September at 9,800. So let's go to the weekly time frame to get a little bit more clarity here. The weekly time frame, sorry, this is not supposed to be showing up on the weekly time frame. The weekly time frame is running counter to what the monthly time frame is telling us. So we have actually a weekly hidden bullish divergence. And so we have a low here, and then we have a higher low here. But on the RSI, you can see that we made a lower low. Now, the price is rejecting this RSI, telling us that we're losing strength, and is saying we are indeed actually bullish here as we broke above the previous week's high right here and confirmed that weekly hidden bullish divergence. Now, subsequently, we haven't had much follow through here in the weekly time frame. And so the scenario that I'm looking to potentially play out if we continue to look like how we're looking right now when the weekly candle closes in 2 days and 14 hours is something like where we come down, and if we're bullish, we're going to form a higher low somewhere above this one, and then subsequently from there go up for a higher high. The other scenario is we form a lower high, the weekly bullish divergence doesn't really give us much upside, and then we go down to the lower low past this blue line, which is that monthly line that we looked at, to form that monthly high right here. You can see we've established this kind of a range in between the R3 pivot and the R2 weekly pivot. And so the price has just been range bound, meaning it's just been trading inside of this range since February. And so we'll have to see if we go above this range and close above it. I imagine we'd probably go up to the R4 pivot up here at about 80K, and the R2 pivot, if we go below that and close a candle below that, we'll probably go to the R1, which is down here at about 37.5. And so if you wanted to learn more about how to use the pivots indicator, you can check out our video where we walk you through how to do that step by step. But on the weekly time frame right now, really what we're looking at, like I said, is that weekly hidden bullish divergence, and we need some follow through on the bull side to either go for a new higher high, or more likely what we'll probably end up doing if we are bullish is we'll come up, we'll form a lower high somewhere below this one. We'll come down again, we'll form a higher low somewhere above this one, and then we'll go up. So pretty much just tightening before we actually have a nice breakout, because we need some of that tightening price action, so then when we do end up breaking out to the bull side, we have that expansionary move that gives us a good pop. So let's go to the lower term time frames and look at what we're dealing with here. If we look at the daily time frame, we can see that the price action is looking very kind of choppy here. And so we had this established bull trend right here, very clean price action with a low, high, higher low right here, and then a higher high with 2 candle closes above this high, subsequently making this dark blue area a strong support zone. We came up, we made a higher high after coming down to form a higher low. So we continue the trend, but we didn't close above it. We closed back below, signaling with this long upper wick bullish price action. Subsequently, the next daily candle opened and, no surprise, dumped. It dumped right into the support zone. The bulls quickly recovered and had a bullish engulfing candlestick, but subsequently yesterday did not have any follow through virtually come from the bulls. So although we had a very bullish candlestick, we didn't really see much on the subsequent day that followed. And now today, what we've seen is just an inside bar. So this is just all the price action today has been contained inside of this previous daily candle. So we haven't yet seen either us come down to try and form a higher low, or us continue to go higher, potentially a higher high. Now the resistance zone that we're dealing with, that we're running into, is this 2-day resistance zone right here. So this is the zone that we talked about on this channel back here going short on. We made a nice 7% gain there, 7+%, came back into it, tested a second time, rejected off of it, and now we're potentially coming into it a third time here and trying to go into it. You can see with the wicks here that people are still respecting this level as resistance, because the candles are closing. They're opening right near the bottom of this resistance zone, coming down here, coming up, closing below the zone again. So we're going to have to see, for us to really be bullish, we are going to have to see two 2-day candles close above this gray zone. And this zone goes up to about 60K. So we pretty much need 2 daily candles, 2-day candles closing above 60K for us to know with confidence this is going to continue to go higher. Until that point comes, we're still operating below this resistance zone, and therefore we are still bearish. If we go to the daily, where we were, the dark blue is our support zone. So these are the 2 main zones to watch. The support zone is we've already bounced off this once. So if we test it again, it's weakening. Every time you test a zone, a support or resistance zone, it weakens. So if we keep testing, both of these levels, eventually one of them is going to break. So we're either going to break down and go for most likely that monthly push down, or we're going to go up and we're going to continue to go to new all-time highs. So to figure out which way we're going to go, you can go to the lower term time frames. So let's go down to the 4-hour time frame and see what we're dealing with here. So the 4-hour time frame is looking. I'm just going to take the RSI off so we can see this a little bit better, and the volume. So right now you can see that we've had a lot of chop in this range. So this gray zone right here was the level that we talked about on our Telegram channel going short on right here, and we subsequently had a nice trade of about 6+%. So if you're not already on our Telegram channel for educational purposes, you can check that out. There's a link for that in the description below. And if you don't want to use the link, you can just look us up on Telegram at Leutheria Community and find us that way. I believe you can find us that way. Anyways, you can see that we rejected off of this. We came up, we bounced off of this level here, and now we've traded back below this zone, and we've closed 2 candles below this zone now. So now that we've closed 2 candles below, it's potentially going to act as resistance here. But since we've kind of chopped around this zone a ton, I don't know how strong this zone's going to be on this test of it here. We'll see, but what the bulls need to see for us to have confidence that we can push through this gray zone is we need this candle right here to turn into a support zone for us, and that's where we're going to have to see a bull trend emerge. We have the makings of it here with a low, high, higher low. Now we need to see the price push above this high and close 2 4-hour candles above this high for a higher high. Once we see that, we know that the bearish momentum is over because we formed a higher low, and the bullish momentum is in full effect because we formed a higher high. So the bulls are in control. That's what the bull trend is telling us. Until we see that, I'm not going to be entering any sort of long positions there. I'm also not looking to go short on this gray zone because, like I said, there's too much shop. It's not very clean, and I don't really like the zone very much. So at this point for me, it's a waiting game. One thing I wanted to point out on the 12-hour time frame that I think is interesting is this potential for an inverse head and shoulders pattern here. So the inverse head and shoulders pattern is usually coming at the bottom of a run, so it doesn't have as much validity in a scenario like this where we've obviously been on an uptrend here. But, nevertheless, you can't, just neglect to see that this is a potential pattern. This is a lot more of a clean inverse head and shoulders pattern right here, but you can see that when we got up to here and we came down, that pattern did not play out the way that we wanted it to play out, and subsequently, we've just kind of been bouncing around here. Now you can see that the 12 hours trying to pull up here, and so that's good news for the bulls with these long lower wicks, but we need to see the subsequent, like I said, 4-hour time frame playing out the way that we want. If we want that 12-hour head and shoulders pattern to play out, you can see it on the 4-hour time frame with a little bit more granularity. We need to see the 4-hour trend change, and so that's what I'm looking for. And if we do end up changing that trend, let's say that we do end up changing that trend over the course of the day, what will happen is this black candle will end up being a support zone for us if we close 2 candles above this zone. So it'll look something like this, where we go above, 2 candles closing above this zone, and then if we come back into it and test it, this will be a support zone for us, and we can look to long that, potentially going up to at least the minimum of this yellow resistance zone up here, which is from back here when we had the initial drawdown of our bear pattern, where we had the high, low, lower high, and then lower low. So this is our first main resistance zone after the this gray zone right here, which is our 8-hour resistance zone. That honestly is getting I didn't even know you could pull that up. So now I've done it twice in one video. Obviously, you can see that. Let's just get rid of this. It's easier to see. So, obviously, this zone has been tested many times already. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. So, a 5th test of this zone is probably just going to break through it, in my opinion. And so if we can get that 4-hour trend change, we'll most likely go through this gray zone, and then we'll go up to the yellow zone here. So that's what I'll be looking for over the coming days and hours. I don't have an entry right now just because you want to be patient. The thing is, being a cryptocurrency trader, I like to be patient with my entries. I like to make sure that I see setups like this that are really nice and clean, where the price action pushes right through a zone, like this black candle, and then subsequently closes right below it. This is a very clean trade setup right here, and you can see that that's why this trade played out so nicely and so quickly. You can see as soon as we went into the zone, boom, next candle, big profit. And then we had a little bit of follow through at the end, a little bit more, but this is really all you needed, this one candle. So subsequently, those are the types of setups that I'm looking for. We're not really seeing any of that right now, so I'm not really interested in making an entry right now. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a like down below and subscribe for future educational content. on cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. And if you haven't already, check out our beginner technical analysis course where you can learn the fundamentals of technical analysis, kind of like the stuff that we talk about in these videos, and really learn how you can make calculated, informed investment decisions in your favorite cryptocurrencies. So check that out. We're running a 20% off early bird special right now up through May 20th, where you can get 20% off your course. So until next time, onward and upward.